Hello and welcome to the Balanced Body podcast using the abduction system. I'm Nora St. John and this is Portia Page, and we're going to introduce you to a unique new accessory called the abduction system that was created by Gordon Hart and Christopher White, a Pilates instructor and a physical therapist working down in Los Angeles, who decided that they needed to have a way to add abduction into their clients' workouts, both with the upper arms and with the upper body and also with the lower body. So what you'll see here is this is just a set of regular old straps, but they have this little loop on them. And this loop is a holder for these bungees, these little resistance loops. So here you have a lighter version, and you also have a heavier version. Along with the straps that I have in my hand, Portia has a set of handles in her hands, which have the same system on them. We're going to show you some exercises first with the handles, and then we're going to go into the straps. I'm going to use the lighter tube, and you can tell it's lighter because it's skinnier. I'm going to put it into Portia's handles, just like that. I just pop the balls through the loops, just like that. And now what we start with here is just a very simple exercise. Portia's going to do a V, so she's going to push out, forward, and out at the same time. Now, why do you want to add abduction into your arm work or into your leg work? Well, one, because the abductors are a critical part of stability in the shoulder girdle. And in terms of the Pilates repertoire specifically, there's an awful lot of times when you're using adduction, both with the legs and with the arms, and there isn't as much emphasis on the other part, the balancing part of the shoulder girdle. So this is using the arms coming forward. Now we're going to add a little bit of external rotation to our abduction. All Portia's going to do with that is rotate the palms up as she pushes out. This really is working actually rather hard in the shoulders, I have to say. Now we're going to change this and just change the position of the hands in the handles. So Portia's going to change so that she's palm up here. And first we're going to start with just a simple external rotation exercise here. Just resisted external rotation like you had a TheraBand between your hands. Many of you are probably familiar with an exercise like this. It's just a nice way to do it on the reformer. Then we're going to add a box exercise, 4-part box. So we start coming forward, open into resistance. Keep that resistance as the elbows bend and bring it back in. Forward and open and back and in. You can do this in both directions. You can do it with the palm up or down. There's lots of variations on these. We're going to show you today is just a few things to give you some ideas of how to use this really wonderful new product. So the last thing we're going to do here is take the V that we took with the palms down, and we're going to add some external rotation in our V. Sorry, some internal rotation in our V. There we go. So as Portia goes out, the palms come towards the floor, and she's adding internal rotation with the adduction, or with the abduction. And a lot of what that's going to do for the shoulder is just start to create more stability in the rotator cuff and more strength right around the joint, so that when you're doing anything more challenging, throwing, golf, tennis, whatever, you've got more strength and stability deep in the joint structure. You also see, hang on just a second there, Portia, when you go into the rotation with the elbows too, you're also starting to get some activity around the elbow. So clients who have elbow tendinitis and other issues in the elbows, a lot of this internal external rotation work can also work on enhancing the strength and the balance around that joint as well. Alrighty, so there are the handles and several examples of the handle piece of the abduction system. Hang on a moment, we're going to go on to the straps. So now we're going to talk about the abduction system on the straps that are most commonly used for feed-in straps on the reformer or for feed-in straps on the Cadillac. We're just going to show it on the reformer to give you some ideas of what can happen here. Portia has the straps around her feet, and you'll notice there's this little Velcro strap here which helps to keep them relatively tight around the arches of the feet. I have the stronger tube in here. Hang on a second, Portia, I'm just going to show that. I have the stronger bungee cord in here because I'm working on the legs, which have more strength than most people's shoulders. So we're going to come in here and just pop that in, just like that. And now Portia can take just simple leg lowers with that abduction component. So pulling down and out. And then keeping the legs gently wide, gentle tension on that band as she comes down and up. Again, adding abduction through the whole side body into the leg work. One of the things that you may or may not be aware of is in the Pilates repertoire, there's a whole lot of emphasis on adduction, which is a useful skill, but there's not much emphasis on abduction. There aren't many opportunities to get some strength through the lateral leg, which is very important for gait and for stability and for all kinds of other things. So this is a nice way to add that component into your workouts. So Portia's just taking the simple leg lowers. Now we're going to take a box, the 4-part box, similar to what we did with the arms. So the arms, Portia's going to pull out. She's going to let the legs come up, bring the legs together so the ball loses tension, and then come back down. She can take this in either direction. Now she's going to be going out and up and in and down. She could also take it going in the other direction, out and down and in and up. And you also have the ability, and this is a little bit fun here, is to add a little bounce to this. So like little pulses coming up and little pulses going down. And the ball really adds a little bit of bounce to that, so it actually adds some interesting sort of quick impact and quick impulses in through the abductors. Doing asymmetrical work too is also possible here. It's a little hard to show on camera, but I'm going to mention it. We'll see if you can see it. So in this case, Portia is stabilizing with her upstage leg and moving her downstage leg. And that is an interesting challenge, both for core stability and also for leg strength. Now, if you're doing this on the Cadillac, you'd also have the opportunity to have one leg up and one leg down. I'm just going to mention that here. Portia can do some of that here, but she's going to lose some of the tension on the straps, which she wouldn't do on the Cadillac. All right, so that completes the abduction system demonstration. Some work for the upper body, some work for the lower body, and hopefully this will add a nice bit of work to your repertoire. Thanks so much.